So I am particularly excited about this. So I would encourage and tell everyone to get your writing materials ready because you would be writing quite a number of things that would be very, very important that you need to fall back on. So in as much as you are listening or you are recording or you are doing anything, make sure you are taking notes of everything. So the next keynote speaker is Mr. Olugbenga Ogunbowale, and it would be a privilege for me to read his citation. Please, a round of applause for him, please. So, I'll be reading his citation. A great privilege. I think I know what I'm saying. So, Olugbenga Ogunbowale is a social entrepreneur, an alumnus of the Leadership in Business Institute of Kellogg School of Management, USA. Olugbenga is the co-founder and CEO of Grantmaster, an online platform that connects ambitious organizations in need of debt-free and equity-free funding with the top 5% of grant writers. Under Olugbenga's leadership, Grantmaster has attracted $250,000 in perks from brands like Amazon and Google. Grantmaster's grant writers have also won $4.6 million in grant funding. A philanthropist at heart, Olugbenga founded Africa's biggest orphanage outreach coalition, the Orphan Empowerment Society, TOES, an NGO working to end orphan poverty in Africa. TOES has empowered nearly 25,000 orphans across 19 African countries with free vocational skills, medical care, and food. A Mandela Washington Fellow and Ambassador, Tony Elumelu Fellow, mentor and influencer, Royal Commonwealth Society Fellow, Yali West Africa Fellow, Yali Star of Business, National Youth Service Corps Merit Award winner, Yali Network Influencer, international partner representing Nigeria at World Business Angels Investment Forum. Olugbenga was recently recognized as one of the 5 most outstanding social entrepreneurs in Nigeria by the Nigerian NG, one of the 10 outstanding young princes of Nigeria by Junior Chamber International, and one of the 100 most people in the world by Opportunity Hub. You know, someone will say, is it not plenty? Is it not plenty? It is, it is. It's not small. If it is, do am now, Abi. Okay, so a 2-time TEDx speaker, Olugbenga has spoken at numerous events addressing high-level audiences, including governors, business tycoons, lawmakers, and stakeholders across 3 continents. Olugbenga has been featured by the United Nations, USAID, NTA, TVC, LTV, BCOS, Radio Nigeria, Tribune, The Nation, This Day, amongst others. So if your hands are not too busy and your legs are not tied to the ground, can you make welcome Mr. Olugbenga Ogunbowale? A round of applause as he comes forward, please.
This MC can hype somebody. Please have your seat. Wow. I am so excited to be here. Like, when I came in, so there are audiences and there are audiences. There are some audiences that put you to sleep. There are some audiences that wake you up. And I want you to just put your hands together for yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. So when I came in, I was listening to the discussions, hearing people share, and wow, I'm in the right place. And then, of course, I confirmed, from him at the back, our dear brother Benedict of God. And, I was saying, okay, so is this castle the same castle on campuses across Nigeria? And he was like, yes. So I finished from OAU, and usually when people from another school go to another school, they go like, oh, my school's better than your school. No. I absolutely respect you because you guys are doing an incredible work. Can you put your hands together for yourselves? Incredible. So I'm not one of those people that will join the argument that my school's better than your school. It's nonsense. I have friends that finished from here, that are from here, and you guys are doing incredible work. I really respect you guys. Now, talking about castle. So on OAU campus, I was telling him at the back that if I had not attended Caris on OAU campus, it would have been castle. Because when you tell me the kind of fellowship you attend on campus, I can already have an idea of where you're going in life. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I spoke somewhere earlier in the week. I'm not going to mention the day of the week or where, right? But when I entered up the audience, I really was not feeling the vibe. And I knew that This is the reason why. These guys are not serious. Because if the leaders of that organization are wasting time like this, how can the members do exploits? So the fact that you are attending castle tells me something about you. It tells me that you are on a mission. You are going somewhere to happen. So you guys are in the right place. And I want you to turn to your neighbor and just give your neighbor a high five and say, I appreciate you. I mean, I am so excited. I am so excited. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 habits of excellent entrepreneurs. The 5 habits of excellent entrepreneurs. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you. The 5 habits. Now, how many of you have read this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Right? Stephen Covey. That's where, that's where I got the inspiration for the topic from. So I just want to share with you 5 habits of excellent entrepreneurs. How many of you run a small business? You have a business of your own. Okay, I can see a hand at the back. Yeah, any other person? Okay, one person. Can you tell me, what do you do? What business do you do? Fashion design. And what? You wanted to say something else? Kitchen and decoration. Fashion design, kitchen and decoration. So my advice for you to be focused. The power of a brand is inversely proportional to its scope. Somebody did not get that. The power of a brand is inversely proportional to its scope. I know that some of you are like, but Dangote is doing plenty of things, but Amazon is doing plenty of things. No. There's a difference between what they are doing now and what they did. Right? So what you do to get to the top is different from what you do when you get to the top. Right? So Amazon and Dangote and all these big brands can afford to do 10, 20 things. Why? Because they've proven themselves. They've done one thing exceptionally well, and now they can afford to branch out. You cannot afford to. Right? So, focus. Yes, another person I want you to share with me. Yes, what do you do? Poultry farmer. Fantastic. So right now, after this event, you're thinking of buying poultry. You're thinking of somebody. Who is your plug? He's your plug. But in your own case, you said you do fashion design, you do catering. So when we need fashion design and we need catering, we're not going to think about you. Because we're like, he does 2 things. That's the way we think. Is that not so? If you're sick right now and you need a doctor, right? And let's say maybe it's ulcer that you're treating, right? Would you go to a general doctor or will you go to a doctor that knows about that condition? Who would you pursue? A specialist or a generalist? A specialist would always outshine and out-earn a generalist. We've not even started. I want to talk to anybody. Are you ready? Oh, that the boy is not answering you well. Look for somebody else. Are you ready? We've not even started though. Okay. Habit number 1. Habit number 1. Excellent entrepreneurs are informed. They are informed. So let's go to habit number 1. They are informed. If you want to be an excellent entrepreneur, you have to be informed. You have to be informed. If you are not informed, you are deformed. You have to be informed. See, you need to become a learning machine. It's not enough for you to learn. See, if you learn, that means like you read books, you do, that's your learning. But you don't need to become a learning machine. What is the difference between somebody who's learning and somebody who's a learning machine? Somebody who's a learning machine is absolutely devoted to learning. You consume books and information the way you consume food. A lot of us cannot skip our meals. How many of you did not eat here this morning? Okay, except you are fasting. Okay, how many of us are fasting? Maybe you are fasting. Your hair, right? But you don't need anybody to tell you. Once your stomach is next thing, some of you, is like a gala, kuli, whatever you can see, right? You are grabbing it. But what about food? There is no mental alarm to say, this brain is empty. Go and read. So because there's no mental alarm, that's the reason why a lot of us carry around, they are not here, those people are not here, carry around empty heads. There's nothing more tragic than having a beautiful face but an empty brain. Nothing more tragic. You find a very beautiful girl, a very beautiful guy. You get like, what's your name? Hi, my name is Jane. And then that conversation goes south from there. Simple English, they cannot speak. Let me use, you understand where I'm going, Abi? Let me use that grammar. So once you meet somebody like that, now, information. You need to become a learning machine. I'm going to talk to you about some of the tips. See, the first thing is you can't give what you don't have. It's as simple as that. You cannot give what you don't have. A lot of times you look at people, think about the people that you admire. The reason you admire them is because they are giving something. There's something that they have. There's something that they carry, right? I mean, this was a slang that we had when I was in school, uni. They'll say you carry something. You carry something. What do you carry? What do you carry? It is your carrying capacity that will determine your earning capacity, right? And how do you carry more? It's by learning it. All the professors you see on campus, those things did not fall on them. You see Davido singing, you see, Burna Boy singing, winning a Grammy. Did those things fall on them? No. They learned it. Next, What is the gap between you today and you in 5 years? Meanwhile, let me announce to you. Life will happen to you. The question is, will you happen to life? Time will happen to you. The question is, will you happen to time? I can assure you that in the next 5 years, you will be older. Add 5 years to your current age right now. What will it be? Somebody shout out the number somewhere. Right? In 24, right? Somebody else, anybody? I assure you that you will be 23 in the next 5 years. So the question is, will you grow up or will you grow old? There are two different things. I can assure you, as long as Angel Michael and Gabriel keeps the forces of darkness at bay and nothing happens to your life, amen, you will grow old. Will you grow up? Information. So the gap between you right now and who you will be in 5 years is a knowledge gap. It is a knowledge gap. That's the gap. It is a knowledge gap. I have some of my friends right now I have a friend who is a senior manager in Amazon. And one thing that stood out for me when he was young, when we were still together and all of that in school, was it was a learning machine. He was always reading. He would go to the toilet and he would be reading. I'm like, this is the Poju. But a lot of us is when we go to the toilet, we are still pressing phone. See, that phone that you are pressing, Murasi. Except you are planning to become an influencer, it's possible for you to press phone and become a billionaire. Kim Kardashian has done it. Who else again is pressing phone? And is an influencer. Bobrisky, okay, interesting example. A lot of influencers. So it's possible that you can press phone and be successful. But if the only thing you are doing is you are pressing phone to consume content, you are not pressing phone to create content. What is my message to you? Murasi. Continue. Right? So it's a knowledge gap. The gap between you right now and who you're going to be in 5 years, it's a knowledge gap. It means that if you don't upgrade your software, you're going to be carrying around the same brain that you're carrying now in the next 5 years. You need to upgrade your software. Upgrade your mental software. Turn to your neighbor, say upgrade. That person is just saying it well now. Look for someone, say upgrade. Now, when you are loaded, you are needed. And you are needed to the degree to which you are loaded. Oh, somebody didn't get that. When you are loaded, you are needed. And you are needed to the degree to which you are loaded. Let me explain. See, sometimes when you hear people say, won this award and all of that, you may not understand what it means. But I want to give you the numerical breakdown. I want to break down some things for you. So when you hear somebody goes to serve, NYSC for instance, and the person wins a merit award, do you know what it actually means? Should we break down the number together? So during my time, I served in Kogi State, and about 2,800 people served in Kogi State. Somebody say 2,800. Thank you. How many people do you think won merit awards? Meaning like you were exceptional, and you won a merit award. How many people in Kogi State? 10. Out of how many? 2,800. What is the probability that if you had served when I served, that you will have won a merit award? Mathematicians, give us a number. It means that before you find a merit award winner, you have to have met 280 core members. How many of you have heard Okurimeta? Omorebi, be custard. It means that before you meet one merit award winner, you need to have interacted with 280 core members. So what it means that by the time we met the governor, when we were finishing, the 10 of us were representing the entire database of core members that served. And it means that before you meet one of us, you will have to have met 280 people. Now, that one is small. When you hear that, Benga is a Mandela Washington Fellow, do you know what that means? Let me break it down for you. What is the population of Nigeria? 200 million. How many youths are in this country? How many young people? Let's say 100 million, Abi. Or maybe 80 million. Let's even say 80 million. Okay. So, during my time, in Africa, about 55,000 people applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And in Nigeria, 11,000 people applied. Please, how many Nigerians do you think they selected for the fellowship? How many? 55. So let's do the maths. What is the probability that if you had applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, you'll be selected? The probability is 55 over 11,000 times 100. Please count the numbers. How many zeros do you have? 0.000000. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, don't be ordinary. You need is information. Is information. As at the time we got to the interview for Mandela Washington Fellowship, they wanted to select 55 people. 300 people got to the interview. I knew I was going to be selected because by the time we were talking in the interview, they asked me a particular question. And the answer I gave them, they were like, is this guy saying the truth? I said, please, do you have a laptop nearby? Google my name. The interviewers looked at each other. They were like, my God. My God, that's information. That's information. That's information. Stop carrying around expensive hairstyles, expensive haircuts without loading your brain. A lot of us are too focused on how we look. How many of you have seen the picture of Mark Zuckerberg when he goes to events and stuff? What do you think he wears? T-shirts. How much is it worth? Over 100 billion. See, in terms of information, you need two things. You need resources and you need resourceful people. You need resources. Some of you here, you say, oh, I want to be a rich and famous person. When was the last time you read Forbes? How can you become wealthy when you don't know where wealth comes from? When you don't know where the wealthy people, where they are doing? How can you play the game when you don't know the players? So resources, right? Think about what you want to do with your life, right? Who are the people that are, that are leading that industry? What are they doing? You need to start subscribing to newsletters. Newsletters by all your mentors and role models. Newsletters by top international publications. If you want to become an economist, for instance, or an investment banker, and you have not subscribed to Bloomberg, are you serious with your life? Are you serious? Because Bloomberg is exactly where news breaks when it comes to the economy and all of that, right? They are also... Now, let me tell you something that I did. What I noticed was that these subscriptions can be very expensive. They can be very pricey. Has anybody tried to subscribe to some of those, right? Or maybe New York Times, for instance. They can be expensive. So this is what I did. Because, yes, we must support journalism, but all of us cannot be subscribing here. How many of you have noticed? You want to read something, they say, come and subscribe. It gets too much. I did something I'm going to share with you. I came up with an idea, and I called the idea Global News Syndicate. Then, I wrote a broadcast, and then I sent it to my rich friends. Of course, you know your friends now. You know the people that can afford these things. And then I did the maths. I broke down the maths. And I said, okay, we need about $600 to get all of these subscriptions done. 10 top websites. And then, okay, so if we're 10, what we just need to contribute what? $60, 10 of us. And I sent it out. And then, of course, my friends came through. They're like, wow, brilliant idea. I've been thinking about this. That can be paying. And the 10 of us paid money. We subscribe to those newsletters. And every morning now, how do you think I start my day? By reading inspiring things, by inspiring people. That is how to grow. You need to surround yourself with inspiring people and inspiring resources. You see, the law of the picture. People do what people see. As long as you continue to look at excellence, you will become an excellent person. It's not possible for you to become a non-entity if you keep associating yourself, you keep learning, and you keep reading from correct people. So that's it. Resources, you need two things. You need resources. Things like, for instance, let me tell you one of my habits. When I'm eating, I'm always watching a YouTube video. And I assure you, it's not Big Brother Naija. I assure you. It's probably a startup video, something educating and all of that. I swapped out entertainment for education. It was a conscious decision. I can count the number of movies I've seen this year on my hands. And they're not up to 5. It's not because I don't want to watch those things. No. It's because time is ticking. The reason why it looks as if you have all the time in the world right now is because you're looking at your age and all of that. But I challenge you to go to Forbes. I am sure that you will find somebody who's your age and who is doing 100 times more than you are doing. Is somebody challenged? Some of you think you are still young. No. In fact, you're too old, self. You're already grandpa and grandma. Because you can do so much more. I want to touch your neighbor. Tell your neighbor you can do much more. Let me tell you a story. So I already told you about the Global News Syndicate. And this is the thing. Because of this idea that I came up with, the kind of networking that it brought, because my friends also had to introduce their friends, right? Now, I know if you do network marketing, they say one person will bring one person, right? And you people are selling yourself. I'm not against network marketing. I'm just saying, right? That if you have to sell a product, that one person has to bring one person. Do you really have a product? I'm asking a question, no. So if you're doing network marketing, please, so that they will not chase me away from this stage, right? Now, in the case of Global News Syndicate, my friends, the kind of people they brought in, we have people working at top consulting firms, people working at CBN, somebody running a billion naira lending company. Those are the kind of people in that group. Who is in your WhatsApp group? Who? What are you people discussing? Big Brother Naija, Abi. Talk to your neighbor, say Murasi. Okay. Now, I want you to write down right now one skill you should learn right now. One skill that you need to learn right now. What one skill will transform your life, will move you to the next phase of your life? What one skill? That if you learn it right now, go times 100. Eh? I want you to write it down. Now, if you've written it down, can you shout it out for me? I just want to have an idea of what you want to learn. Anybody? Content writing. Thank you. Any other person? Bookkeeping, copywriting. Am I writing? Okay. Any other person? Coding. Digital marketing. Okay. Artificial intelligence. Now that is very, very plenty. Very. Skill number 2. Impact driven. Excellent entrepreneurs are impact driven. They are impact driven. What does it mean to drive impact? See, simple. The SI unit of value. Right? If you want to be an impactful entrepreneur, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, impact has to drive you. Impact has to drive you. You have to be solving a pressing problem. What does a pressing problem look like? Looks like a pressing problem. Now, we're not talking NGO now, we're talking business. A pressing problem is a problem that people are willing and able to pay for. Let me take that again. A pressing problem is any problem that people are what? Willing and what? Able to pay for. If they are willing, but they are not able to pay for it, then you're probably an NGO. Yes, now. How do you think NGOs run? They provide a service to people that cannot pay for it. But we are not talking NGO here. We're talking entrepreneurship, business. Now, let me tell you the story of Naklin. And how Naklin saved our school, so you can understand the impact. So, I run an organization called Grandmaster. In fact, that's the shirt that I'm wearing. And, before I came upstate, people were talking about, product, service. Some people were like, and I like the way you people are Luther, spirits. His product. Product is the best thing since sliced bread. Somebody will come like, service. Have you tasted service? Service is better than sliced bread. And, that was the guy. I'm just giving my own summary. My own crazy summary of what I heard. Right? Now, let me tell you about Grandmaster. So, what we do at Grandmaster is a marketplace. We connect people who want to win grants with people who have won grants. You want to win, Abi. You have won. What are we doing? Connecting them. Matching them together. Right? Now, we met Naklin sometime last year during COVID. How many of us remember during the lockdown when everybody was inside their house, everybody was hiding, right? And so at that time, schools were asked to, close. And teachers now, they have to pay salaries, Abi. And so Naklin was in a very tough spot. As you know, of a primary school, the parents did not want to pay for school fees because even the parents where they would get money from, money was not forthcoming. Right? Now, if she had said no school at all, the parents would probably take their kids somewhere else. So they had to do Zoom classes. The parents were not willing to pay. No money was coming in, but teachers needed to be paid. And so Naklin was literally weeks away from shutting down her school when she saw a grant, a Facebook grant. She came across this grant, and somebody then told her, somebody who had worked with us, told her about our services, and then she reached out to us. When she reached out to us, the first thing we noticed was that our accounting was done on paper and pencil. People that have businesses here, I beg you in the name of Jesus Christ, stop using paper and pencil to record. That is if you record at all. But I'm hoping that you record expenses and income. Stop using paper and pencil. You need to get an accounting software. Either Wave, Zoho, web-based accounting software. You have to keep digital records. So the first thing we did was we paired her with a chartered accountant. Next, we paired her with a top-rated grant writer. We worked with her, helped her tell her story better. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, Naklin won the grant. Now, what did Naklin do? The first thing she did was she hired back the staff she fired because she had to fire staff. She hired them back. She renovated the entire school. And right now, as at the last time I went to the school, they are growing so fast. They are growing. Everywhere is looking green, beautiful, growing. Now, that is the power of the kind of work we do at Grandmaster, right? We're the backbone for organizations who want to do social change, who want to change the world. We help them attract the funding that they need to scale and grow and make impact. Now, that is Naklin. So the question is, what problem exactly are you solving? If your business is not solving a pressing problem, you don't have a business. If people can do without your product and your service, you don't have a business. Don't you understand? Let me give you an example. When people hire us at Grandmaster, usually when they hire us, the question is not whether they need our service or not. The question is, have you guys found a grant for me? Is there something I can apply for now? We've never met one single person saying, I'm not sure I need you guys. Nah. We're like doctors. We're like surgeons. When a doctor recommends surgery for you, do you argue with the surgeon and say, I'm not sure? Okay, when you don't want to die. Is somebody paying attention? So if people can do without your product or your service, you don't have a business yet. You don't have a business yet. So I want to take feedback from the audience. What problem are you solving? Or what does a problem look like to you? Can you give me examples of problems? Problems you think people will pay for. You remember, people must be willing and able to pay for it. So please don't shout bad roads, except you are Dangote. So what problem? Yes, problem. See. So who will pay for this problem? They are beginning to pay for the problem. You're sure of that? Okay, that's interesting. All right, any other person? Shout out the problem for me. You don't have problems that you're solving. Okay, which problem will you like to solve? You're not solving it now, but you would like to solve it. Which problem? Waste and recycling. Thank you very much. This our city is very dirty. Or is it neat? Oh God. In the middle of the road, between two major roads, what do you find there? Refuse. Our city is very dirty. So, yes, there's money to be made. Any other person? Shout out the problem. Food. Food problem. No, I know food. We have to eat, but how is food a problem? Healthy food. Healthy food is the name of a category. It's not a problem. I hope somebody's paying attention. I'm trying to train you to understand what the problem is. So keep shouting those things so that I can tell you whether it's a problem or not. Cheap internet access. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. You're just telling me what you want. High cost of internet access. That's the problem. Is somebody paying attention? Hey. If I were to take a consulting class and charge you guys this session alone, because the truth is, if you don't understand what the problem is, you can never come up with a brilliant solution. Never. Being a successful entrepreneur starts with a granular understanding of the problem. Someone say granular. I can't hear you. Someone say granular. Somebody else, shout the problem. Urban logistics. That's the name of the category. That is an action that people do. No, wait. I'm still on this case. So I'm not hearing a problem. That is what we do every day. What is the problem? Expensive and fragmented logistics. That's the problem. Is somebody paying attention? See, let me go back to you. In Nigeria, it is very hard to do delivery in Nigeria. Why? Because we don't have addresses in Nigeria. When you ask people to describe their address, they will say, watch me, oh. They will say, near, behind, in front of, adjacent. Once somebody gives you number 55, no, they are lying. You're running. They are in Nigeria. You have a specific number for your house. It's Bobo. So logistics is very, very hard. Right? Very, very hard. So please, you need to learn how to define problems. Defining problems is actually the starting point. People who win fellowships and scholarships and stuff like that is because they understand the problem. If you don't understand the problem, there's no way you can come up with a brilliant solution, right? So, a granular understanding of the problem. I want you to write down one pressing problem you intend to solve. Or if you're already solving it, write it down. What one problem do I want to solve? Of course, that problem was Jawo. If it's a problem that people cannot pay for, it's an NGO that you're starting, which is fine. It's fine. However, you need to think like this. Who are the people running those NGOs? Are they not businesses? Are they not businesses? So therefore, without businesses, there can be no NGO. Quote me anywhere. Quote me anywhere. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that is funding a lot of NGOs. Is he not a businessman? The world needs you. I want you to tap your chest and say, the world needs me. Oh, you're not tapping your chest like you mean. Say, the world needs me. I'll be number 3, storyteller. Oh, God. I love this point. See, facts tell, but stories sell. Transportation leads to persuasion. Somebody did not get that. If you want to transport people from point A to point B, what do you tell them? You tell them a story. You tell them a story. That's how you transport people. You tell them a story. Are you telling your story in a compelling way? Right? If you're talking, you're introducing yourself, you're talking about your business, what you do. Are you telling a story? Do you know what an elevator pitch is? What is an elevator pitch? Very quickly. How long is an elevator pitch? 1 minute. Yes. No, tell us something. Thank you very much. Thank you. Correct. So, an elevator pitch is, imagine that you walk into an elevator right now and you meet, say, Dangote. And you've always been having this idea in your head that you want to partner with Dangote, right? you know that elevator will move to the next floor. So you barely have 60 seconds to quickly what? Convince him. So if you run into an elevator and you meet them, who is your idol? Or a role model, somebody you like? Tell us somebody. Elon Musk. Imagine that you're in maybe Aso Rock or something, and Elon Musk came to visit our president, dear president, and then you are in the elevator, and suddenly, ta-da, is Elon Musk. What will you do? That's what we're talking about. That's exactly what that's an elevator pitch. You need to have like different elevator pitches for your bio, your profile, for what you do. You need to have them ready. Because I speak a lot, I have different profiles. The version that I sent for this program is different from the version that I will send for another program. Even though it's one person. You need to have those elevator pitches ready. You need to be able to talk to somebody, sell yourself in 60 seconds. Now, let me tell you a crazy story that my uncle told me. So, this story was told to me about 15 years ago, long time ago, right? And then I'll ask you at the end of this story what lesson you learned from it. It's a crazy story, so I will not be surprised if you don't have a lesson from it, but follow me. So, there was this competition. It's a competition, by the way. That's farting contest. It was held between 3 people from 3 different countries. One from Nigeria, another contestant from USA, another contestant from France. Now, when you're preparing for a farting contest, what do you think you will hit? The Nigerian. Protein. You people are too touche. What's protein? Be specific. Beans. What kind of egg? Is it just boiled egg? Soaked with pepper. But is it just soaked with pepper? Rotten egg. The person from France, what do you think he was eating? Okay, yeah. What did they eat again? French fries, Abby. What else again? All those mende. The guy from America, what do you think he was eating? Burger. American runs on burger. What if you burger she? Okay, so this competition now held inside a church. Now, you know all these churches where they have like the statue of Jesus Christ at the back, right? Nailed to the cross. That was where they held this competition. So the judges were seated just like these 3 gentlemen, and they were like, okay, yeah, you guys come and display yourself. So the first guy was from America. And this competition is different. It's different from American Idol where you hold the mic like I'm doing and you talk. It's different. This one, you have to back the audience and release, So the American, he came outside and he did his own. It was Now, just as you were seated, can you believe that all the chairs went down? The force from his bum was powerful enough to push all the chairs down. Even the judges were blown away like, wow. Really. So the judges just ignored the two contestants remaining like, we've already found the winner. They were already scoring like, we found the winner. That was the American. The French guy was just laughing in French. Like, bonjour, or whatever nonsense he was saying. Like, you people have not seen anything. By the time the French guy came, the sound was, ladies and gentlemen, all the chairs that fell down rose up. The judges were like, The judges now completely ignored the Nigerian. They were now arguing. Which force is more powerful? Is it the force that pushed the chair down or the resurrection power that brought the chair up? Right? They were now arguing. Which force is more powerful? I'm sure some of the physicists here, you're already doing the maths in your head. That, it must be the force that raised it from the dead. Some of you are already like, no, it's the force that pushes. Hold on, calm down first. The Nigerian, it was his turn. People were not even paying attention because everybody was busy debating the force, Newton's law of motion. The Nigerian was like, it's hearing kaka. By the time the Nigerian released his own missile, nobody heard any sound. Before they even had, nobody heard any sound. But what they now noticed was that everybody was busy scrambling for the nearest exit. Even the judges, they dropped their paper, Everybody jump, window, door, see in. Everybody was. Now, that is not the most surprising part. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe the statue of Jesus Christ? Jesus removed his hand from the cross. I said, Father, let this cup pass over me. That was how the contest ended, though. There was no scoring. Now, this story was told to me 15 years ago. And I still remember it. In detail, in granular detail. So what did you learn from this story? Okay, what else did you learn from this story? I'm going somewhere. Yes? Preparation. Okay, because of the nonsense it was eating, Abi. Yes. It's not about the noise, Abi. Interesting. Any other person? Yes. That is the answer that I was looking for. The power of storytelling. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of you will probably forget some of the things that I'm going to say today, but you remember the story, which is crazy. The reason why you remember is because stories are sticky. Facts tell, but stories sell. Transportation is the key to persuasion. If you want to persuade people, you want to move them from point A to point B, tell them a story. The reason why our parents, when you are going to school, I don't know how many of your parents told you, Mama, anything won't show. How many of your parents told you that? They'll remind you, remember the son or the daughter of who you are, right? It's not as if when you come to campus, if you want to join back gang, you see join back gang. But at least they will tell you, right? With all of the Bible study and all of that they've given you, they hope that, and thank God for your life, you are here, right? Now, the key thing is you remember the stories. You remember the stories. Let me tell you another, okay, because of time. What is the finest story that you've ever heard in your life? What is the finest story that you've ever heard? Anybody? Yeah, I just knew somebody would say the story of Jesus Christ. I just knew. Okay. Well done. Okay. Yes. Any other person, the finest story you've ever heard? Maybe a novel or something. Somebody told you. Anybody? What's the name of the story? If it's a book, it even helps. Snow White. Okay. Any other person? Titanic. Nice. Titanic. Oh, somebody said Harry Potter. You must be doing magic on here. Eh. All right. Let's move on. The fourth habit of successful entrepreneurs, they pivot early. They pivot early. What does this mean? You see, I know you've heard this before, that quitters never win and winners never quit. Have you heard it before? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to burst your bubble and to say that is absolute nonsense. Winners quit and they quit a lot. Winners, I have to run up. Winners quit and they quit a lot. The question is, how do you know when to quit? That's really the cocoa is knowing when to quit. Now, this is what you should ask yourself. What you are doing right now, is it working? Right? Is it time to port? You remember portability. Is it time to port? Is it working? If you are doing something and it's not working, either learn to do it better or port. Port. See, university is a very good place because you find a lot of interesting stories. Sometimes you find people who get to 400 level in another department. Is there any medical student here? Medicine, anybody? Especially medicine. Somebody gets to like 500 level medicine, and at that point, they now decide to cross to another department. Kilo and wo. That's 200 level. Kilo and wo. What were you looking at? Kilo and wo. Except your name is Lukman. Kilo and wo. You now get 500 level, you now say, I now find my purpose. So you were playing in 200 level, 300 level, you now find purpose in 500 level. You now go back to 200 level. Amen. I'm sure you have examples in your school now. I've seen those examples. Somebody will wait till part 4, but before they now change departments, they will now spend a cumulative 7, 8, 10 years in school. Kilo day. Are you the headmaster? Do you want to become the VC? Pivot early. Somebody say early. When something is not working, you either learn how to do it better or you port. It is not a crime to port. It is not a crime. People that laugh at you for porting will be the same ones that will rejoice with you when you succeed. So other people's opinion does not matter. It does not matter. Let me tell you a short story. So, in 2019, I had this idea, and it was about connecting, I just love marketplaces, connecting politicians with elected leaders. So the idea was that, a lot of times we see roads that are bad, we see maybe you don't have light in your area, and who do you run to? A lot of times what we do, we just complain in our house. So I was thinking, okay, can we connect politicians with, the people that they are leading? Right? And then we created a platform where anybody can go online. You just go to the platform, you rant, you talk about what is wrong in your area, you be specific about your local government, your area, and then the hope is that the politician will see it, right? So we created this platform and we were very happy. I was excited. Idea. In fact, it was so hot that I got selected for an international contest called Gistekai. I got to the finals. I got to top 24. I got to top 12. I got to top 6. At the final stage, the judges asked me a simple question. Who will pay for this? And I said, when we have traffic, a lot of people, will not be able to sell that. The judges started shaking their head. When they say it is over? When Jesus Christ on the cross said it is finished? But I was looking at the judges like this, and I could see their scorecard. Like, it is finished. Oluwa. We lost that contest. It was not only that, nobody paid for that service. 6 months later, after hiring a business developer, spent a ton of money, talked to over 100 prospects. People will say, the idea looks nice, but when it comes to pay, what will they do? They will not pay. Customers vote with their money. If you have to harass family and friends before they buy what you are selling, you don't have a product. You don't have a product. Some of you have to harass your roommates, harass your parents, harass your siblings, harass your girlfriend and boyfriend before they buy from you. You don't have a product now. If you have a product, people will buy from you. In fact, they will look for you. Somebody say sought after. Sought after. There's this slang. They'll say, oh, Renon Sonic Boro. The product is Otaleti. They are looking for you. It's because you are solving a problem. So pivot. Now, I want you to write down right now. What one thing do you need to stop doing now? There is something in your life that you need to stop doing now. That is not profitable. That is wasting your time. What one thing, if you have to stop one thing in your life, what one thing will it be? Write it down. Right. And then the final point, because I think my time is, if not almost up, the final point, the final habit of successful entrepreneurs is they are opportunistic. They are opportunistic. The SI unit of life is time. You see, the measure of a life well lived is not in the duration, it's in the donation. Let me prove it to you. Let's use the Bible. Have you encountered passages in the Bible where they talk about somebody and they say, and he begat, and he begat, and he begat? Let's use Methuselah as an example. How old was Methuselah? Thank you. What do you know about Methuselah, apart from his age? Tell me, what do you know? Did he do something? He built a house? What did he do? Okay. What about Jesus Christ? How old was he when he died? What do we know about Jesus? Jesus is the center of time. Time revolves around Jesus. There are only two ways to describe time. You either describe time before Christ or after death. And he lived only 33 years. Is somebody paying attention? The measure of your life is in the donation. It's not in the duration. The measure of your life is in the contribution. It is in your willfulness. Don't your neighbor, ask your neighbor, what is your willfulness? Kilo wulo fungan. Kilo wulo fungan. Kilo wulo fungan. Let me prove it to you. Is there somebody in your class that if they don't come to class, lecturers are asking after that person? Is there somebody like that in your class? But is there another person in your class that even if they don't come for an entire semester, nobody notices? Is there somebody like that? Now, don't worry, don't raise up your hand. Your secret is safe with us. But if you are that person, repent. 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 Why should you be invisible in a place? When you're in a place, things must happen. Because you are there. Because you are there, things must happen. How can I be in a committee and the committee will not work? How can I be in a place and the things will not? No. In fact, they should know you as someone who makes things work. You are the catalyst. You are the catalyst. Now, opportunistic. What opportunities do you qualify for? How many of you would like to do your masters abroad? Anybody here? You're thinking of a master's, PhD. How many of you want to participate in fellowships, international fellowships? How many of you want to travel? You want to see the world? Let me give you the gist. In 2019, as part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, I traveled to the US. Now, before that time, the only idea I had about US was watching American movies. How many of you can relate? You just watch American movies. You see White House. Hey, White House! Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, I was in the White House. You don't understand. The way you were sitting like this, I was seated in front like this. Ben Carson was in front of me. I was asking myself, like, am I dreaming? This is Ben Carson. The gap between us. Am I dreaming? Ben Carson. At the airport, guess who I ran into? Rooney. I was talking with Rooney. Hey, Benga. I was having a conversation with Rooney. All my friends were signaling at the back, cut so for us now. I had to call all of them. Like, Rooney, would you like to take pictures with my friends? Now, how did that happen? It was just one opportunity. See, one opportunity can change your life. Somebody say one opportunity. It can change your life. One fellowship, one scholarship. One opportunity can accelerate. One opportunity. So what opportunities do you qualify for? You guys, you need to start applying for stuff. You see, even though all of you are students, but you are not the same. You are not. There are some of your mates in class that the kind of things that they are doing, the kind of levels they've entered into, they are 5 years ahead of you. Let me give you an example. There's a student on this campus. The number of grants she has won in this year alone is almost $100,000. She's a medical student. So that babe now, the people that are sitting there in class, do you think they are age mates? I have another friend as a Mandela Washington fellow. Our passports. When we were joking about it, when we went for the fellowship, our passports, when you open it, page 1, what do you see? Italy. Page 2, United Nations. Page 3, our passport booklet. Different places with different leaders. Even though we are all Mandela Washington fellow, See, you need to know your mate. Oh. What you now need to do is you now need to surround yourself with those people. You now need to surround yourself with those people. If you are the best person in your group, it's time to look for another group. If you are the best person, and when they enter your group, they go, hey, Baba, you are joking. You are not serious. This time around, I'm not going to tell you to Murasi. This time around, so that I don't encourage you, I'm not going to tell you to Murasi. I'm going to tell you what. Right? Will this opportunity provide a tangible value to me? How can this opportunity accelerate my contribution to the world? And last question I want to ask you is, how do you spend your time? How do you spend your time? Show me someone who is spending their time recklessly. Show you someone who is not going far. But show who is diligent with their time, who is meticulous with how they spend their time, who cherishes time. Then I show you somebody who is going somewhere to happen. Let me give you an example as I close. So, I was a fellow in 2019. Now, being a fellow means you get opportunities, funding opportunities. You get to meet top people. So last week I was meeting with some people from the US. They came to Ibadan. And there were also some people from IITA at that event. They invited them, the director of West Africa, top people. They were just networking. It was a networking event. How many of you have been to a networking event before? Where there's no agenda. It's just to network. Some of you are just used to when we come, we must play and sing, or there must be a class. No. There are some events, the only agenda is for you to network. And so at that event, I met somebody from IITA, and they were like, oh, yeah. So I said, oh, this is what we do at Grandmaster. And they were like, I'll get back to you. Now, usually in business, when people say, I'll get back to you, do they ever get back? You know that get back to you is a code for, bye. 2 days later, I got a phone call. They're like, yeah, what you do won't work with you. That is how Grandmaster started working with IITA. In the office, I was like, are you for real? Like, IITA. Like, wow. That would not have happened if I was not a because the networking event was strictly by invitation. And in fact, you need your ID to enter because of the caliber of the people that were there. So can you see what opportunities cost? Can you see? It has a cascading effect. Opportunity will unlock those for other opportunities. And so I want you to write down, what one opportunity can change your life right now? Like if you were selected for that opportunity, what one opportunity can change your life right now? Is it a fellowship? Is there something that you can apply for that would accelerate your journey? Right? What one opportunity can change your life right now? Ladies and gentlemen, there are only two kinds of people in the world. There are spectators and there are spectacular people. Choose to be spectacular. Thank you.
I believe we can do very much more than that. Okay. So, do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Please, 2 questions, please. We have one hand up. You have a question also. Okay, so let's have it.
Okay. So I have 2 questions. The first is you talked about time management, and I've realized that time is just one thing that flies a lot. And while growing up, my mom especially, she'd be like, even if I'm in the bedroom, she has to shout before I come out. I'm just being very realistic now. Like, you know that point where you are not done yet and all of that. Then when I now go to school, I realized that, man, this thing is actually, I was now remembering Mom's words that, man, you actually have to do better with your time. So please, how do you effectively manage time that you cut out a lot of things? Like cutting them out. And you know, there's this part of you that you now start feeling guilty. Yeah, okay, then the second one is that, oh, Jesus. First one was time management. Yeah, the second one is how do you, when you start to manage your time well, don't appear like a bad person. Like, you know, there are times you want to do stuff and then someone will just come to that, can you help me with this stuff? And you want to outrightly tell the person that, guy, leave me, I'm working. Something like that. So how do you address that?
Okay, so the first question was, how do you manage your time well? So how I manage my time, so for instance, I have like, so this speaking engagement, for instance, I have like a diary for just speaking engagements. Like, of course, I have a Google form. You know, you have to fill the form to book me to speak. So I have like a separate diary for speaking engagements. So I keep an eye on that. I have a daily planner. So a daily planner that's a weekly planner that's a monthly planner, right? So I have a yearly planner separately. I have a daily planner. So I know everything I'm going to do. What I'm going to do tomorrow, next week. I already have it all planned, right? And so that's how I manage my time. Like to-do list. Me and to-do list, we're like 5 and 6, right? To-do list, 5 and 6. We now lead to the next point. When, you know, people come and they are not part of the plan and they want to hijack your time. See, I'm a very disciplined and brutal person. Sometimes people call me Ash, right? Ash and emotionless. This is why they call me those things sometimes. So, for instance, where's Benedict? What did I tell you about my time? The one thing that, tell me about money problem, is if you try to waste my time. A money problem. A money problem. Why? Because my life. If you're wasting my time, you are wasting my life. You are wasting my life. So I can literally shout at you, stop wasting my life. Is somebody getting it? Yeah. So when somebody is trying to bring in something and they're not part of your plan, what do? You schedule them, you book them. It's so serious that even my own friends, they have to book an appointment with me before they visit me. You cannot crash my house. One of my neighbors learned that lesson the hard way. He just opened my door. I'm like, oh, hi, good afternoon. He was expecting to just open the door. I'm like, yes, I'll be of service. He was shocked. He went back. Go try him. You're coming to my house. To come to what? Come and gist. Or talk about you and who? A money problem. A lot of you are too generous with your time. It's a problem. People, give them time. You want to come and see me, even if it's your boyfriend. I love you so much. Yeah, I love you too. Can we make 7 p.m.? Not, are you in the room now? You two, you now say, I'm in the room. Your day is finished. Your day is finished. Do you know what? And that person has won. That person is using you to catch cruise. He's happy. You are sad. Your plans for the day, destroyed. Because you could not open your mouth and say, can we fix this for another time? I tell people, you were not on my plan. Usually I know when people come to the office and, I've already booked the time. So there was one time somebody came, was it not last week? And I'm like, they told me someone's waiting for me. I'm like, no, I am not expecting anybody. They're like, somebody's waiting for me. When the person came, and the person was talking, was sharing the story of his life. I'm like, nah, bro, you are not on my plan or my schedule for today. Can we reschedule this? He was shocked. You are coming with your own agenda to scatter my own agenda. Somebody said, Kole walk. That's how you deal with that. No, they will respect you. They will respect you. Don't understand. They will respect you. They know that you don't joke with your time. So even when they are around you, they value your contribution. I told you that it's not about duration. It's about donation. You can spend 1 hour with one person and the conversation will not go anywhere. Meanwhile, you can spend 5 minutes with another person and... Let me give another example. How many of us know Jobberman? One of the co-founders of Jobberman is on the advisory board of Grandmaster. And I was having a meeting with him early this morning. And that meeting was just 30 minutes. But the kind of things that he said, my head was just, just 30 minutes of meeting. 30 minutes. It was like, Benga, like I woke up, on the wrong side of the bed. I'm hoping that this conversation would energize me. I'm like, yes, you are going to be energized. And we're exchanging, and the ideas that he was hitting me with, and the things I was telling him was like, what? At the end of the meeting, I was like, yeah, this was a productive meeting. I said, yeah, thank you for your time. That is how a meeting should be like. Yes. That meeting was planned 7 days ago. Yes. Do you think that famous and successful people, do you think that they are jobless people and they will allow you to buy into your time? You think if you're a friend of Elon Musk, you just go to his gate and say, hey, Elon, how are you? You need to start preparing for your future now. You need to start preparing for your future now. Don't wait until you become important before you take time important. It is how you treat time now that you treat it then. So, stop allowing people to hijack your time. Stop. A lot of your friends are kidnappers. They are hijackers. And you are an enabler because you are encouraging them. Every single time you host a meeting that was not part of your plan for that day, you are an enabler. Start scheduling meetings. Somebody wants to come and visit you. Fix a time. Somebody wants to see you. Fix a time. Right? You want to go and visit somebody. Book a time. Tell, what time can I come? Right? And agree on it. I hope I answered your question. That's it. You need to be brutal. You need to be brutal. If you are... I know what you are saying. That if you now say you are busy. No, it's not for me busy. It's the way you say it. Right? It's the way you say it. Don't say it. Don't come across as rude. Do you understand? When I'm telling people that, can we reschedule? I'm not rude to them. I'm like, can we please reschedule? So, yeah, you don't have to be rude. Is that all?
Okay, so you said earlier that, tertiary institutions are fertile grounds and they help you. So in a case when you are looking at a social enterprise that solves problem in a tertiary institution, what are the things to consider when starting? Apart from, it's not so fixed at the moment, but then after it, okay, first off is like generally it looks at getting enough problems enough to solve, like getting enough problem from each sources, then looking at the one that fixes well, then solve. So like I said, problem is not well defined, but after the problem gets defined enough, what are the things to look at? Because there's this thin line between profit and solving the problem, even, yeah.
So there's something called market size, right? Even if you have a problem that people are willing to pay for, how many people are willing to pay for the problem? Right? That's market size. There are some problems that are very niche in nature, and there are some problems that a lot of people are willing to pay for. A lot of people have that problem, right? So you need to be able to estimate your market size. I work at Grandmaster, for instance. We serve businesses primarily, right? Businesses want to win grants, so we don't need to do too much evangelism. They want to win money. they want to win grants. And how many businesses do we have in Nigeria? 41.5 million MSMEs. Is that not a large market? Very large. So that's the math you need to do. How many people have this problem? And how many of them are willing to pay for it? Because you know that you don't have a business if people are not willing and able to pay. So market. Estimate your market. Is that all?
Yes, thank you, sir.
My job is done.
Let's
Thank
give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much.